Hey, it's Miss Youngquist. We are in JasperActive Microsoft Word 2016 Core Lesson 6, Learn Activity 5, Converting Tabular Information. If you haven't done this before, click on Learn. If you have and need to correct some, click on Practice. So in this exercise, you'll convert text to tables and convert tables to text. Go ahead and hit Continue. Okay, let me go ahead and mark mine as unanswered. There we go. Step 1 is converting text to a table. So in the income statement document, select all the text for this report from ABC Insurance Services to $12,884.75. Then click the Insert tab, and in the Table group, click Table and click Convert Text to Table. So breaking that down, we know that this is the income statement because it says so in the title bar. To select all of the text in this document, if I scroll down, I can see I'm going from ABC Insurance Services here all the way down to $12,884. I can either click and drag it, or because I'm selecting everything, I can press the Control key and tap A to select all of my text. Then it wants us to go to the Insert tab and then to the Table group. And if we click on the drop down for Table, there's an option to convert text to table. And we're going to get this little dialog box. So step 2 says, in the number of columns field, change this to 3. Currently we see number of columns is 1, number of rows is 19. If we change this to 3, you'll notice our number of rows automatically changed to 7. Step 3, in the separate text at section, click tabs. The number of rows field now displays 19, and click OK. The text ABC Insurance Services is now the first row of the table. All right, so in the separate text at section, that's down here, we're going to click on tabs. And then now the number of rows field now shows 19, and then we're going to click OK. So now you can see we have a table to work with, and in our first row it has ABC Insurance Services right there. Let's scroll down in the instructions. So depending on how the original document was set up, you may find you need to make some changes to the new table. So under Table Tools, click the Design tab, and in the Borders group, click the arrow for borders, and then click No Border to remove all the borders, displaying only the grid lines. If necessary, click the Layout tab under Table Tools and click Grid Lines to display the grid lines. These grid lines appear on screen only and do not print, whereas borders do. All right, so under Table Tools, right up here, click the Design tab, which we're on, and in the Borders group, click the arrow for borders. There it is right there, and select No Border to remove all of the borders. Try that again. Okay, so now all we're seeing are those grid lines. If you are not seeing those grid lines, you can go to the Layout tab right here, and then you can see the grid lines here. So I can remove them or add them back. They appear on the screen only, they won't print. So next we're going to select the ABC Insurance Services row, click the Layout tab, and in the Merge group, click Merge Cells. Repeat for the Income Statement row and then merge the two rows together. So first we're going to select the ABC Insurance Services row, so we want the whole row. And then on the Layout tab, which we're already on, we want to click on Merge Cells. So that's going to merge all of those cells together, so now it's just one cell. Now we're going to do the same thing for the income statement. We're going to select that whole row and then go to Merge Cells. And now it wants us to merge the two rows together. So if I click and drag to select both of those rows, if I merge cells, it's going to make them into one cell. All right, continue formatting the table to appear similar to this sample. This is where you're going to want to pull this pop-up open so you can see what it looks like. So this is an example of how you could format a tab report after it's been converted to a table. This can be a little bit tricky and time consuming, especially if you haven't worked with tables before. Where you're going to look, you'll see where those grid lines are. This is where selecting certain cells only comes into play and adjusting them. So if you look up here, you'll see where it says revenues, and then there's a small little section here, and then it has sales and other revenues in between it, and those cells are pretty wide. The way we're going to do that, I'm going to close this for just a moment. We're going to select just the cells for sales and other revenues. When I have just a couple of cells or just one cell selected, then I can make changes to just that cell or cells. So I can go get that little cursor to move the borders of my cells. If I click and drag it, because only those two are selected, it's only going to move those two cells or the border on those two cells. So now let's open up that sample again, and you can see what that looks like. See how I've got those two little boxes right here, and then I have my sales and other revenues. Okay, let's close this for a second. You'll notice too, let's open it back up really quickly, that these margins are over here as well. So those borders of those cells. So let's pull this up here so we can see it while we work. I'm going to select those two cells again, and then I'm going to drag these borders over just a little, about a half an inch it looks like, if I would guess. And we're just estimating here, so it's kind of hard to tell. Now on this next line, you'll see it says total revenues. We've got total revenues here. And on our original document, the number is in the center. But on this one, it's over here in this right-hand column. So all we do, we're going to select that number. We can Control and X to cut it. And then we can Control V to paste it. Our formatting has it aligned over to the right, so we want to make sure we're aligning that over to the right. And up here, you can see on that layout tab, you can do it here. You could probably also do it from the home tab with our alignment right there. Okay, so to keep going, I'm going to look at my expenses section. And you can see where it says rent, telephone, internet, courier, postage, supplies, and photocopier. Those are all aligned the same way that our sales and other revenues were. And our numbers over here are also aligned with the numbers up in that first section. So I'm going to close this out to make the changes, just so we can see better. All right, so I'm going to select all of these all of these cells in the center column. And I could start on the right hand side this time and drag it over, and you can see where my little guideline matches up with the one I have above. There we go. So that those are all aligned. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the left hand side and just line up my line with those two up there. There we go. And let's open this one more time. It doesn't look like any other changes are needed. Let me look. Oh, I see. We need to change these two numbers down here to put them over in this right hand column as well. So we can do that really quick. I can select all of those at the same time and Control and X to cut them, and then Control and V to paste them, or you could type them in if you wanted. And then I need to change that alignment again so they're aligned over to the right hand side. Although I'm noticing, if you look at this example, that if I'm aligning it to the right, my numbers are actually too far over. So let's give a try. If we were to copy or use our Format Painter on the Home tab, let's see if that would do what we need it to do. And that moved it too far. So let's see what else can we do here. I'm just going to leave it as is for right now. I'm going to mark this as answered and go to the next one. So under Table Tools, click the Layout tab, and in the Table group, click on Properties. So Table Tools, Layout tab, and then here's our properties in the table group. If I click on Properties, it's going to pop open this dialog box. On the Table tab, click Center to align the table between the left and right margins. Here's our Table tab. I can click Center, and that will align it between the left and right margins. It also says click Preferred Width and enter 5.0 inches. Okay, preferred width is right here. And I can manually type in 5.0. And then the inches sign is shift with the quotation mark. Or you probably don't need to put that in because it does say measure in inches. For the text wrapping value, specify none. So here's text wrapping. It's already on none, so we don't need to change anything. Click the Alt Text tab, and in the title field, enter Income Statement. In the description field, enter ABC Insurance Report, and then click OK. The income statement is now centered between the margins. In the table group, click View Grid Lines to turn this option off. Okay, table group, let's take the grid lines off. There we go. Mark as answered. Go to Next. Convert a table to text. So open the TA Status Update January file located in the Resource Files folder. So we go to File, Open, Browse. I'm already in my JasperActive and Starter Files section. I want to find my Resource Files folder, so I'm going to click this little up arrow to go back to the folder before. And there's my Resource Files folder. And there's my TA Status Update folder. I'm going to open that one up. Scroll through the document so you can see how using a table to set up minutes can be helpful when recording notes that extend past the column width, as well as to align the name of a person who has an action for the task. So you can see they've used a table here, even though it doesn't have borders on it. They've used this so that they can get more text into the document. So at the top of the Tolano's Adventure Status, Update for January table, click the Table Selector icon to select the entire table. Okay, one moment, I've lost my little slider right there. Okay, let's go up to the top. There's Tolano Adventures Status Update for January. Where are you, Table Selector icon? There we go. When I click on that little button, it gives me this menu. And it selects my entire table. Under Table Tools, click the Layout tab. And in the Data group, click Convert to Text. So find your data group right here, and then we're going to click the button that says Convert to Text. So it's going to remove the table that we have. Click Tabs as the separator, and then click OK. So there's Tabs, click OK. And now it's converted that to regular text for me. So you can see how different that looks. All right, scroll through that report to see it. This is an example of how tables can often be more beneficial in designing a report versus using tab stops. In a scenario such as this, where you have items that will be affected by a word wrap, or you want to be able to quickly match one column of information with another, using a table structure can help with the legibility of the document. In another scenario, such as a financial report, you may want to change from a tabular format to one using commas as the separator character so that this report can be used in another program such as Excel or Access. So now we're going to press Control and Z to undo our action. There we go. So now it's back to the table and mark as answered. And then show results. There we go.